Zuckerberger tastes like algorithms and disappointment. It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Pants, joined by analyst whole Matt Moscardi. Woo! On today's ESG Joke Factory 7000, called May 13th, 2025, Biz Nuggets.
Yay!
You son. Yeah, I know. Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFloatAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free.
Free! FreeFloatAnalytics.com. Go there. They're great. Great sponsors.
Ready?
Yeah, let's just knock. It's hard to be funny right now. So let's knock this out.
That's why I'm trying something different at the end. I'm actually going to give you some options of funny and see if you think any of them are funny.
Oh, I like that. I like making funny a game because otherwise life is not funny.
Here we go. In our That's Cute, Sam, because I don't want my son to grow up in a world where college dropouts slowly replace human brain function with profit-driven AI. Headline of the week. See, that's already not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny at all.
Sam Altman does not want his son to grow up with an AI best friend.
Well, that's not. That's a knock on Zuck, right? That's Zuck knock.
I guess, but this was at a congressional hearing. A senator actually asked him that question, but he also went on to say that people were already forming deeply personal relationships with AI and essentially relying on it for emotional support. And that, quote, it's a newer thing in recent months, and I don't think it's all bad, but I think we have to understand it and watch it very carefully. But, Sam, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do that?
It's the same nonsense everybody's ever said.
How are you going to figure that out?
He has lots of friends. He knows what that's like.
In other news, IKEA will call its forthcoming store in Boston simply IKEA. Sources say.
That's not a bad idea.
Headline of the week. ESPN will call its forthcoming flagship streaming app simply ESPN, sources say.
You know.
Is that the dumbest headline ever?
Well, the funny part is,
yeah.
So my dad worked at like a community bank, and they got bought by another community bank. So it was like 2 branches instead of 1 branch. And when they combined, they hired for like $200,000 a consultant to come in and say, what should we call the name of the community bank? And the consultant went and interviewed all of the staff, like all 20 of them, and said, what do you think we should call it? Then they did this market research. They put together a presentation, and they just named it the community bank's name in the end. It cost them $200,000 to get that.
Yeah, I shouldn't complain because I'm always the one yelling to my friends that why do they call HBO Max? Why don't they just call it HBO?
Well, that would be simple.
That's the brand we all love is HBO. No one knows what Max is. All right, moving on. This next one will tickle you. Come on. In our ex-CBS director, he really was. He was a CBS director.
That's true. I know. Yeah.
O.J. Simpson, not named director after found not guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, and because he's dead. Headline of the week. Ex-Tyson Foods CFO John Tyson named director after misdemeanors.
Oh, well,
that's the headline.
But the good news is someone did pick up on that because it was announced in a press release.
Yeah.
You caught the press release, but it took like 3 days for the news to be like, wait a minute, is that the same guy who woke up in someone else's bed?
This is the heir to the throne, one of the sons of the Tyson family, who first magically went from chief sustainability officer to CFO. I don't know how that happened. Then basically got fired as CFO for being a deviant to society, really. And now he's back as a director. So there you go.
I love that they were like, you're so bad at your job that we're going to make you a director of the company instead of a part of the company.
Maybe fitting. In her acceptance speech, Ms. Boswell said, I won't sleep until your toilets are 45% less smelly and disgusting on a year-over-year basis starting in 3Q 2026. Headline of the week.
That's quite a promise.
Clorox announces election of Gina Boswell to its board of directors. I wish they'd give speeches like that.
I like your headline better. I want them to walk up, like in the NFL draft when you get drafted, they like walk up on stage and they hug Roger Goodell or whatever.
I love that.
I want them to do that with like the chair of the board and then hold up a jersey with the number on it.
Well, who would they hug? Would they hug the lead director? Would they hug the nomination chair committee?
I think they would all be the nom chair committee standing behind, clapping. Like yeah, love this pick, that kind of thing.
The fourth director was referred to as a bloated idiot who doesn't know the difference between a case of synthetic hydraulic fluids and a Diet Pepsi. Headline of the week. Shareholder advisory firm backs 3 of Elliott's 4 Phillips 66 director nominees.
Imagine being the fourth. Yeah, the fourth. It's great.
You're like, come on, Glass Lewis. What are you doing to me? And finally, in my first section, and this is kind of really just a segue over to Matt, because I know Matt has a bunch of headlines about this. In our Sir Andrew Whitty.
Oh, I forgot the Sir.
Listed the top 3 personal reasons in no particular order. Fuck this place.
Oh. Well, could we place this fuck, then?
I think that isn't an important
I think that is a particular word.
United CEO steps down for personal reasons.
Yeah. The personal reasons was someone was probably going to kill him next.
Oh. Or that he's already really rich, and why would you want to run that place? Matt, I'm going to go over to you because you have a bunch of headlines about United
why
Health
don't I
CEO.
just follow up on that? In our universally reviled man pays self headline of the week.
Ooh.
United Health CEO Andrew Whitty was 2024's highest paid payer CEO. He was the highest paid of all the.
He's made about, I think he's made total summary compensation about $70 million last 3 years combined.
Yeah, I think last year was like 40. It was like 42 or something.
Doing well.
I remember right. In our universally reviled man takes a vacation headline of the week, United Health Group CEO Andrew Whitty steps down. Company suspends annual forecast. Do you know both of those headlines came out in the last 7 days? Like,
wow.
He was the highest paid of all of the healthcare groups, and at the same time that's announced, the same week he steps down.
There's also, they announced a shareholder lawsuit against the company.
Yes, they did. They did announce that. And in our universally reviled man replaced by universally reviled man who replaced different universally reviled man he replaced headline of the week.
Yeah, what's that?
United Health CEO Andrew Whitty steps down, replaced by Stephen Hemsley.
So he's the boomerang CEO?
So Stephen Hemsley is the chair of the board. Of course, he's the executive chair because he was the CEO.
God, yeah, okay, yeah.
And he is now replacing Andrew Whitty. Now, the actual order of things was Stephen Hemsley, and then there was another CEO, and then Andrew Whitty. Hemsley stayed on the board the entire time, but United Health seems to love keeping all their CEOs around on the board. They've had multiple CEOs or ex-CEOs on the board for the last 20 years.
Jeez.
They're doing such a good job that it's such a bang-up job.
Sound governance over there.
In our Andrew Whitty says, try cod liver oil and vitamin A, headline of the week.
Huh.
Listeria outbreak sickens at least 10 in California and Nevada, and the FDA is investigating fresh and ready foods.
I like how you kind of shoved Andrew Whitty into that joke.
Somehow, I feel like he's involved.
Yeah, you were on a roll. What are you going to do?
I can't slow down.
Come on, keep going.
All right. In our This Week on Audit Material Weakness, the game show, who will the material weakness be? The ex-prosecutor financial expert? The ex-interior secretary who wrote "You report to me" accountability for the failing administrative state? Or the ex-trade representative? Headline of the week, Trump media said it had material weakness in internal controls.
Wow, that's shocking. I'm shocked.
Those three things I named
all
are
true?
real, and they're all on the audit committee. That's the audit committee of Trump media.
Yeah, welcome to 2025.
I've never seen a less qualified audit committee. Like, not that any of it matters because it's a dual class company and it's held by Trump, who only managed to show up to 2 of the 5 board meetings despite being on the board. So ISS, I expect you to recommend voting against Donald J. Trump for missing his attendance quota on the board.
That
was the one thing. They're not doing any analysis. That's the one flag, isn't it?
Yes.
Can't do that. In our anti-woke investors furious at SEC, they don't get the chance to vote 1% in favor of a resolution to stop gays from eating sushi, the wokest way to make fish, which is arguably eroding American freedom. Headline of the week.
Wow, I'm lost. Yeah, go ahead.
Kroger investor loses new bid to put plan before shareholders.
Wait, what? Okay.
So Kroger,
yeah.
First of all, their number one selling item at Kroger is sushi. That's not a joke. That's real.
What is? I don't even really know what Kroger is. It's a supermarket.
It's a supermarket.
And this is the place where the CEO stepped down in disgrace, and we still don't know why. They didn't tell shareholders or
correct. We know nothing. The only thing we know is that they sell a lot of sushi.
Yeah.
And the CEO did something heinous.
Maybe he put his finger in the sushi.
In 2023, the National Legal Policy Research Center,
one of the anti-woke shareholders,
they put up a proposal about, I think it was DEI at the time, and they lost. And they wanted to do the same proposal this year, but they got less than the 5% threshold, according to the SEC. So the SEC rejected it.
Oh,
so they're not allowed to put it back on
the SEC is woke now. Maybe now we'll get rid of the SEC soon. So
I mean, they were going to put it up and get another 1% in favor anyway. So what are we really doing here?
I don't know. Come on.
All right. I'm getting tired. Let's do my last couple and let's finish this out.
Come on. Give me the goods.
After soliciting bids from Puxatawny Phil, the Transformer named Scavenger, and Mark Wahlberg from Deepwater Horizon,
whoa.
The Trump administration finally found a genius to dig a hole. Headline of the week. Elon Musk's Boring Company is in talks with government over Amtrak project.
I mean, look, this might be something I would trust one of his companies to do, dig a hole, but then again, I'm not too sure.
Okay, so I looked up the Vegas Loop, which is the one place they've really dug a hole.
Yeah.
The Vegas Loop will take you, according to their website, from the airport, Harry Reid International Airport.
Oh, I didn't know it went that far,
to the convention center in 5 minutes, and it costs you $10. If you were to drive that not in a hole, it would take you 10 minutes and cost you $0.
I was going to say, I've only been to Las Vegas once, but I don't remember there really being an issue. It's not Manhattan.
It is dumb. It's literally when you see the hole. The one thing they did was put in LED lights that change color, but it's a one-way hole with no exits.
Great. Congratulations.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
In our When Asked, the mayor of Memphis, Tennessee, handed citizens a set of giant wipers donated by Tesla for their tears. Headline of the week.
I know what you're doing there, yeah.
Community complains of choking fumes from Elon Musk's AI fortress.
Well, the sad part here, Matt, is that who can the community complain to anymore? I mean, they can't really go to the EPA. Who cares? Who's going to care anymore?
I mean, they just call the mayor's office. This is
what function of the government is going to step in on this anymore?
Well, this is why Tesla gave them the giant wiper to wipe away their tears.
I get it.
See that? See that?
Anything else?
It's true. We found a self-important liar who likes hallucinogens, so we don't need to hire anyone under 35 with an education anymore. Headline of the week. AI may cut the need for younger staff, CEOs say.
Yeah.
With the commoditization of intelligence, it's not about having the smartest people anymore.
What is this full-on attack from CEOs against not only young people but educated young people? What are we doing? What's happening? What am I missing?
We want dumb people? Is that what we're looking for?
I don't know
looking
what
for
we
people
want
to be dumber?
Yeah, and these are all, by the way, every single, I guess, God bless Zuck, except for Zuck, these are all college-educated people talking about this stuff, right? I mean, I don't understand it. I don't
Well, let me end here.
get it.
In our It's True, we found a self-important liar who states everything like it's a fact, so we don't need to hire anyone over the age of 55 anymore.
Oh.
Headline of the week. The vast majority of CEOs are fearful of losing their jobs due to AI, survey reveals.
Well, okay, help me out with this one. Are they fearful of losing their jobs because they don't understand AI and AI will be a big function of their company, or is it because they will be replaced essentially
they will be
by
replaced
AI?
by AI.
They fear this already?
They fear being replaced by AI.
And yet we're letting AI, letting it run like an unregulated disaster over the earth. This is what we're doing.
My favorite part is that they basically said,
What the
young
hell?
staff we can cut entirely, we don't need them. And then the senior
what the
staff
hell?
we can cut entirely.
What is happening?
So what do we got? 7 guys named Jim in the middle wearing
Yeah.
like salmon-colored shirts and khakis, and that's
And
the
meanwhile,
company now?
the CEOs who are billionaires who own half of Hawaii, all they have to do is whisper the word China at a congressional testimony, and they get to do whatever they want.
It's the dumbest thing. I like that
Right.
CEOs are saying we
Right.
don't have to hire young staff, and CEOs are afraid of being replaced by the same thing they're replacing young staff
All
with.
right, Matt. Thanks for bringing me down with your strange sense of humor. I really appreciated that.
Anytime.
All right, I'm going to end this with a game. I'm going to give you the headline first, and you pick the best joke, okay? Because I just wanted to try something different this week. Here's the headline.
I like this.
McDonald's announces plans to hire 375,000 workers with Trump labor secretary. So you get it. That's the flex, right? Trump is all proud of. I mean, 375,000 workers at McDonald's. I mean, it already seems like a joke in itself, right?
Well,
But,
I do
yeah.
know that
I
the
don't like that
caveat of that
version of
headline.
America. I don't like that version of America.
Well,
Yeah.
the caveat of that headline is they're only hiring summer helpers,
I don't like any of it.
and they're doing it because Americans can't afford real food, so they have to shop at McDonald's. They're
I don't like any of this.
anticipating.
Matt, where's RFK Jr.? He can't like
I
this.
love that the Trump labor secretary is standing next to McDonald's while McDonald's is proud of basically hiring a lot of part-time workers to fill a gap because no one can afford food.
Here are the 3 headlines. Ready?
Yeah, make it funny now.
Well, training to include how to scream internally without moving your face and why clocking out is woke.
No,
That's the first one.
I don't like that.
New employees to be paid in nuggets and will receive free uniform, a copy of Atlas Shrugged, annotated by J.D. Vance while wearing a Ronald McDonald costume,
Ooh.
and a mandatory McRib tramp stamp.
These
I
are
tried to do a
horrifying.
Trump tramp stamp joke there, but I couldn't really figure it out. Sorry.
These are horrifying already, though.
And finally, because nothing says labor rights like a side of deregulation. What do you got?
oh,
Matt?
wow.
Come
oh.
on, help me out. Pick
I mean, it's got to be new employees to be paid in nuggets. Just
Yeah, right. 'Cause
simply,
right. The McDonald's script, right? Wouldn't that be because you mentioned script on a
we're
recent
going
show,
on-
didn't
it's,
you?
It's an all script society now.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has started Starbase, and I had a prediction that he's going to start a crypto script
Of course.
for Starbase employees.
Matt, over the years, a lot of our most idiotic fears and thoughts and jokes have come true. So I actually think that this is probably accurate. I think there will be a return to script in the not too distant future.
I like the idea that nuggets are a form of script.
Yeah.
I like.
The problem is that the headline is wrong, I think, because the uniform probably will cost like 90 nuggets.
script. Yeah. yeah.
And
true.
finally, let's try it with this headline. This is actually from the New York Times, Matt. This is what the New York Times writes about. Boy accidentally orders 70,000 lollipops on Amazon. Panic ensues. This is the great journalism at
I did read the story,
yeah.
and panic ensues seems like a vast overstatement
Okay,
of what
well-
actually happened. There was no panic ensuing.
So you pick an alternative headline. Amazon spokesperson said, while we understand that 70,000 lollipops may exceed the average household's needs, our algorithm determined that American children are fat and stupid.
Oh,
Okay, that's one possible
That sounds-
alternative.
that sounds correct, though.
Second one, Mark Zuckerberg said, problems like this will disappear with Meta-branded AI children.
That's horrifying.
And finally, Amazon algorithm now recommends to this family a Kohler tall single flush 2-piece elongated toilet with 1.28 gallons per flush in white and a dentist named Dave.
Wow, the Amazon algorithm featured twice in your answer.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's a double algorithm.
Yeah, you don't even have to pick one here because the whole
No,
thing's
I
stupid.
do. I'm
Yeah, go
picking
ahead.
Mark Zuckerberg. The Meta-branded AI children.
That's not far away either.
That
Let's be real.
that actually might be your next best prediction. That's it.
Because why would you want to deal with the headache of your dumb children ordering too many lollipops when you could just tweak its algorithm not to order too many lollipops? There you go. Simple.
Not to mention, your dumb children have no friends, and you would have to pay for their AI friends anyway.
And they don't have to
Why
go to
bother?
college anymore in Mark's future because college is stupid.
College
so you're saving
is for
money
stupid
there.
people.
Yeah.
In fact, all you've done is you didn't have to raise anything. You immediately can send your kid to work. It's like you get your kid and you send them
Oh my
out.
God.
It's like
Get us
you
outta
don't need
here.
child labor anymore.
End the show. Send us out of here.
That's it. That's Hazelnut Rawless. I'm your analyst, Tom Matt Muscardi. We are free float. We will be back on Thursday
Yeah, that's true.
and Friday
That's true too.
with Proxy Countdown.
Two
and also
Very
go get
different shows. Yeah.
Shareholder Primacy, our other podcast
Yes.
with Mike Levin and Ann Lipton. They did a bang up job talking about Tesla and the lawsuits and like all these issues around that, like securities law. Go listen to them because they're way smarter than we are.
I'll tease
They're
this
actually
too,
educated.
Matt. I'll tease this too, Matt. We are in talks with another highly educated person, I won't say the name, to join our network for another show, and even another show that is not us, which
I am really excited.
I think people will be relieved about. This is an actual smart person.
I'm excited to collect as many smart people to start a podcast network so that we can replace all of them with AI because we
Ooh,
don't need smart
now we're
people
talking.
anymore anyway.
AI and Lipton. I like that.
That's it. Come back later this week. Until then, goodbye.